Welcome back to The Vocalist. My name is Bethany and I am a voice teacher, and today I will be hearing the band Jinjer for the first time. So many of you recommended this group to me, in particular their lead singer Tatiana, so I am very excited to hear her voice. I don't know much about the group, but I did do a tiny bit of research just so I know what to expect. And I know that they are a metal band. So I'm anticipating some screaming or some throat singing, but like I said, I haven't heard them before, so let's do it. Quick disclaimer, for those of you new here, I do like to pause and rewind and talk about technique during my reactions, so you've been warned. Okay, here we go. Okay, real quick, the anticipation is already building because she has such a beautiful, like, angelic sound. It's so lovely, and knowing what I think is coming next, I'm just so excited to hear, like, the contrast in her vocal production, but so far, it looks so effortless. I did listen to a couple of interviews as well, just to hear her speaking voice, and this is within her speaking range. It just seems very natural and very comfortable right now. So yeah, let me go back just a smidge. I really love just the tone of her voice. I'd be a friend of mine who swallows suffering with smile. Other thing I love about this video is I get to see her up close. Her tongue is in that beautiful, neutral, fluffy pillow position, and her jaw is not pushing forward. It's just dropping down and back, and so everything is just, she's like set up for perfect alignment for whatever's coming next. I wasn't ready. I didn't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. Whoa, okay. I imagine this happens more, so I'm going to resist the urge to rewind. No, I lied. I'm gonna rewind a little because oh my gosh. Let me play this again and then we'll chat. That was such a good angle. I want you to see her face and how there's no strain, because I'm going to talk about something after that. Okay, so I'm so like mesmerized right now. When we talk about screaming, actually, okay, so in the larynx, we have our vocal cords. I talk about this a lot. I feel like every coach, every teacher, we talk about our vocal cords. But some people refer to them as your true vocal cords or true vocal folds because above your vocal cords are these sort of like shelf like, I don't know, almost they kind of look like little pears, but we call them the false vocal cords or false vocal folds. Now, they're very helpful if by chance, you eat something and it goes down the wrong pipe. If your epiglottis doesn't like prevent, food or water from going down your trachea, I had to like get my anatomy right. If the epiglottis fails, the false vocal folds can come together and also help prevent you from choking or accidentally like inhaling water. This is how people produce this sound. I cannot do that. I truly believe it is an incredible technique in and of itself, because what you have to do is you have to figure out like it requires a lot of dexterity and a lot of control and understanding of sensation and anatomy, and there's definitely like a moment or like a time of discovery, kind of figuring out how to access this part of your voice, how to engage those false vocal folds in a healthy way. But then once you've got it, you've got it. And I think because of how angelic her tone is when she's singing, I just wasn't expecting so much depth in this sound. You guys will have to enlighten me. I don't know if you call it like a growl or like scream or how you define this especially in metal music, but I like it. And it takes a lot of skill. Okay, here we go. Okay, I really love her phrasing. I feel like I have to talk as much about her singing as possible because I know so little about, utilizing those false vocal folds as a singer myself. Like, I can't do it. I haven't trained to do that. But her phrasing, I love. Whenever we talk about phrasing, it's very easy to just kind of like take gaspy breaths, and she's doing such a beautiful job of really singing through sentences and deciding for herself like her own artistry, her own musicianship, like what she wants to say. I did look up the lyrics to the song as well, just so I kind of had some context, and I think it would be so easy to get caught up in that sort of like I'm gonna say scream just because I don't know the correct term, but to get caught up in that and let that influence the entire song, but she's not. And I think that's why this is such a cool piece, is that she really does have like these two extreme contrasting ways of producing sound. And rather than just say like, here I'm singing, here I'm screaming, she's like making beautiful music, and then when she goes into that screaming, like it's more about the text and the energy of like what she's saying. This is far more surprising than I anticipated. I grew a different normality with unblameable morality. Hooks and nets are there for me, but I'm skittish. Scared on my I like that. That's sort of like whispery. She's not in falsetto by any means, but she's allowing more breath to come through, so it's got a slightly more airy quality. Again, even more contrast in just this like singing section alone.
Cherish his life to the underworld. Make me flash and render into Christ. Poisonous swimming through the river, hold your life against the stream. Searching for the room to catch on and see the sun.
That, oh my gosh, that's kind of what I was waiting to hear. Holy cow. I'm going back. I'm going back. I don't know how far this is going to go.
Make me flash and render into Christ. Poisonous swimming through the river, hold your life against the stream. Searching for the room to catch on and see the sunbeam. Don't suffocate in painful tortures, long-cutting devils of callous men, wandering on a phantom butchers. Emeralds are whipped away, emeralds are whipped away, emeralds are whipped away, emeralds are whipped away.
Oh my gosh. There's so much. I'm very impressed with this band. Not only their abilities and their technique, but also just their timing, their collaboration. It adds so much to what we're already taking in. I want to go back to that section where, so she started with that beautiful angelic sound, went into that sort of screaming section, and then I was so curious to hear her sing in more of like a mixed belt, because I'm speechless right now, you guys. Let's play it again while I collect myself.
Shivering inside, drowns in a liquid gold.
Even there, okay, I love being able to hear things over and over and just like reflect on what I'm hearing. Her word painting, like drowns, like she's really taking advantage of the text, not just in, her emotion and like how she's delivering the words, but she's also coloring these words and creating these beautiful sounds, using the diphthong to like sing every vowel in that word. I really like what she's doing.
Cherish his life to the underworld.
So here, as she started to go up, this is where I was curious about like her upper register, because it seemed like she was mixing more of like a head voice in there. And so I wanted to know if she could like mix belt, but higher. And then we found out, well, I found out, you guys already knew. I found out she could.
Make me flash and render into Christ. Poisonous swimming through the river, hold your life against the stream. Searching for the room to catch on and see the sunbeam.
That sound right there, it matches this music so perfectly. And like it's her, she's got like the perfect voice for this because it's got like that sort of screamy, bright, edgy quality to it, but it still has so much presence and so much like, I don't know, vibrancy. It's ringing and resonating, and okay, one more time. We're gonna watch through the end, and then we'll talk.
Suffocating painful tortures, ungodly devils of callous men, wandering on a phantom butchers. Emeralds are whipped away, emeralds are whipped away, emeralds are whipped away, emeralds are whipped away.
Is that not so cool how you can make all of these different textures in this one style of vocal production? I wasn't ready for that. That was such a cool surprise. I mean, I was reading your comments and your recommendations to hear Jinjer, to hear Tatiana, and you know, you try and sort of paint a picture in your mind of what a voice is gonna sound like, and I had to throw it all out the window because I wasn't anticipating that at all. In regards to that style of vocal production, I do want to emphasize that many singers or many vocalists, artists, performers, they can do that in a healthy way. And I think she is a prime example. And the reason I want to point to her as a prime example is one, if you have listened to any of her interviews and heard her speaking voice, it is crystal clear. Two, even in this piece alone, like when she was singing both in sort of a chest resonance and then in a mixed place, again, beautiful clarity. Because when you engage or utilize those false vocal folds, you have a couple of options. Like you can also sing at the same time, which is where that like throat singing kind of comes into play. But in her case, I think it was more just sound production. Like I didn't feel like her true vocal cords were active while she was making this sound. I'm not an expert in this technique, so you can absolutely correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I was hearing, it just sounded like she was bringing her false chords together in order, and like the air pressure coming through was what was creating this sound. And so obviously with air pressure, I mean, with both the tension that you put on those chords, like when you bring them together, and air pressure combined, you can change pitch just like we do when we're speaking. You know, you don't have to be singing in order to change pitch. I'm so fascinated by this style of vocal production. I know there are some artists who have gone to like an ENT or done some sort of like laryngoscope so that you could see their chords, and they've like put it online. I don't know if she's ever done that, but just to like watch what's happening in the larynx while she's making those sounds, I think would be the coolest thing to see. I'm going to try to edit out all of these long pauses where I'm just thinking and reflecting because I really have nothing to add to the conversation. I was just amazed, and yeah, that was super cool. Anywho, thank you guys so much for watching with me, and obviously for this recommendation, and hopefully I will see you next time.